Askreddit thread. Reddit. Be honest. What's your biggest personality flaw? I procrastinate everything. I only get down to business when the possibility of me not meeting the deadline becomes greater than the possibility of me meeting the deadline. Same. Should be doing some very important coursework right now to submit for tomorrow. I've had all day, and yet here I am typing away words that could be contributing to the coursework. Arrgh. I can only do work when I'm in the right mood for it. And what mood is that? Last minute panic. I used to be like that. That's how I got all my work done. That shit did not fly when I started taking a really hard class. So I had to learn how to not procrastinate anymore, and it's hard. I get selfish, but recently I've been able to realize when that happens. I've been able to combat it. I still do it though, and I hate it. I think the hardest part is acknowledging it, especially with flaws like this. Good on you. Yeah, it took me forever to realize it, and my fiance helped me recognize it. I'm glad she did though. I can tell I've become a better, nicer person overall. Thanks for the kind words. Well, you mean, the thing is, I'm pretty selfish too. But I think the way they are talking about it in a negative way is that they're selfish to the detriment of others, which is not in the best interest in you. If you were really a selfish person, you'd know that you have to make some sacrifices in order to make the people around you happier, which overall makes you have a better time, which is totally in your best interest. So just being a selfish prick about everything is a really stupid way to go about being selfish. If you're smarter about it, you'll be like a con man. Those guys know how to talk up people and shit. So I get it. He gets it. He's selfish, but he should say, "I am a stupid, selfish person." Not "I'm just selfish in general," because that puts a bad connotation on the word selfish. In the fact that I only ever do stuff if it benefits me in some way, but usually the things I do which benefit me in some way aren't really bad, and everyone wins in the situation. Sometimes I just shut everyone out of my life and I don't leave home except for work. I do that too, but that's because I don't have a car. All my friends live very far away. This kind of sounds like me. If it weren't for work, I swear I wouldn't get any social interactions. Oh, that's so weird. My work is sitting in my room reading Reddit posts. Well, not really. This is just something I do for fun, kind of. My real work is sitting in my room editing and playing video games, which I guess is better. So I don't really go out much to interact like I used to. Oh, kinda sucks. Kinda, but then again, my job's awesome. I've noticed the solitude isn't actually that bothersome to me when I'm not near people who I feel are judging me for being secluded. Seems like more of the angst comes from the thoughts that are projected onto other people about us, rather than the loneliness alone. True shit I've read all day. I'm happy, leading my life of relative solitude. Only major social interactions are close family. But when I go to work and they all talk about when are you next going out, any plans with your friends, I just feel, why can't it be acceptable to say, oh, I don't have any friends, and people do not give a shit instead of thinking something wrong with me. Well, I used to do that at my old job. They'd ask me to hang out and shit. I was like, no, I want to stay home and play WoW. And since I was so upfront and honest about it, I never got shit about it. They'd poke fun at me, but I'd poke fun at them back because I know how to interact in social situations and I'm not horribly awkward. So you can do it. It's just you have to have a personality that allows you to do it without, feeling like you're beneath them or something. That's more of like a self-esteem problem more than it is a society thing. This is the one I most relate to. I'm super lonely, but I can't be bothered to answer calls or text or go anywhere. I get super anxious when my phone buzzes. I'm not sure what's broken in my brain, but the worse I hurt, the more I push everyone away. Oh, that's sad. I always assume I'm everyone's topic for gossip. Not that I'm self-absorbed, I'm just that paranoid. Well, I mean, I'm that paranoid too, but I just kind of assumed anything I say is going to be told to everyone else, so I pick my words wisely. Oh yes, I totally relate to that. A group of people laughing in the lunchroom, they are laughing at me. Neighboring ladies gossiping about something when you're passing by and then there's an eye contact with one of them, and damn, they must be gossiping about this 32-year-old single loser guy, things like that. Okay, I said I was paranoid, but after reading this, no, I'm not. I would never think that, because that's ridiculous. This guy's a crazy person. I feel the same way, and reassurance never helps. This phenomenon is known as the spotlight effect. Everyone does this, and it's more often than not incorrect. Yeah. You guys are nuts. Oh, shit. Well, I'm not that paranoid, I guess. That makes me feel better about myself. I'm more paranoid in the fact that when I come home from a run, I expect someone to be in the house to, like, jump out and attack me. So I always walk in cautiously and look around every corner so that they can't, get a punch on me. But it's more of the PTSD talking from an incident that happened. I guess I'm a different kind of paranoid. Avoiding any situations that make me uncomfortable. Even on TV, I can't even handle awkward situations that aren't real. Oh, that reminds me of an anime called Wataboe, or It's Your Guys' Fault That I'm Not Popular. It's all about a girl who's just socially awkward. It is hilarious, because I used to be like that when I was in middle school. I had to leave the room for that. Scott Tots. Is that the one where he promises kids college tuitions? Oh, I remember that one. Anytime a person fails, is uncomfortable, criticized, or picked on a TV show, I have to turn it off. I can't handle people being awful to each other. I had to stop watching Parks and Rec a few episodes in season 1. I'm actually surprised I got past the first show. The Office is a million times worse than the cringe factor. I'm plagued by worry, and it's ruining my happiness. I worry about aging particularly. I'm 28, but feel I haven't really lived life to the full. And I often worry about the missed opportunities and fun I could be having. So when I do have that fun, I'm worried all the time. Am I fully enjoying myself here? Am I making the most of this? Is my worrying ruining this activity? Yes, to that last one. I worry about worrying, and I worry about that in turn. It scares me that I'm just going to worry and fret and worry until I'm on my deathbed. I'm in this prison of my own making, and I just don't know how to set myself free. That sounds like anxiety issues. You should get help for that, if it's that bad. Sounds like anxiety. I deal with it myself. Talking to someone definitely helps. Yep, see? Someone... Yeah. Pick up the copy of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book really helped me deal with stress and anxiety. Now I'm worried. Oh, I'm just so fucking lazy. Oh, tell me about it. I know how that can be. Sometimes I TLDR Reddit. TLDR wrecked. Yep, this is me. I'm not sure if it's a personality flaw, but I really don't have the time or inclination to try and finish and find out. I'm pretty damn lazy, but I get a lot done. Just because you're lazy naturally doesn't mean you can't change it. But then again, it is kind of hard to change it if you don't want to do it. And it is a huge pain in the ass, and I think just most people are lazy. It's just everyone. I think everyone is. It's just some people handle it better than others. I'm not cocky. I'm confident. Turns out, most of the time, I'm just a dick. I don't like dicks. I'm not cocky. I'm just confident. You should try them. They're great. I mean, they're okay. Dragon Dildo Master Race. Dude, same here. It's outstanding how much confidence I can have at once. Recently, a lot of things I have been going my way. My ego's exponentially growing entirely out of hand. Fuck, I'm awesome, though. I latch onto people who are nice to me way too easily. Wow, I'm making so many new friends. Thanks for the gold. Yep, I'm way too trusting too quickly, and I get emotionally attached to people really fast. Basically, if you show me a shred of decency and you make me feel like I belong in your group, I'll kill myself trying to be there for you. Or whatever, if need be. I think some people find it off-putting, so I've been trying to be less overly attached. I also tend to really overthink literally everything, so there's that. I just want friends who can hang out with and talk to all the time. Damn it, I knew I would hear this and relate to it so much. Everything, the overthinking, getting emotionally attached too quick. Me in a nutshell. I hate it, but don't know how to change. Part of me doesn't think it's a bad thing. Being loyal, caring person isn't a bad thing. It's the part where I start to kind of let these people take over my day-to-day thoughts. That's the bad part. For the overthinking stuff part, I just really try to catch myself when I start obsessing over something. Like, I try to tell myself that literally no one else is thinking about it but me. Doesn't always work, but it's a step in the right direction, I hope. I have basically fallen in love with every woman who has ever shown interest in me. Oh, I used to be kind of like that. That sounds about right. Then I got way too emotionally attached way too quick. Classic shimbopsy. Damn it, me too. I tried to convince myself that I was actually attracted to this woman, but in reality, I was just attracted to them being attracted to me. Huh? I call it sunshine syndrome. I'm the same way. I've been told it's because I don't meet enough people. So when I do meet people who is nice to me, I'm all by myself like, this is the best person ever. They were nice to me. When in reality, if I just met more people, it wouldn't be such a big deal. And it's true. I've been going out of my way to talk to more girls recently, and the more you talk to, the less attached you become with every single person. Anyways, do you want to be best friends? I feel like you're nice. Let's make that go away. I tend to gain the trust of people only to hurt them in the long run. By the way, I love you and think you're a great person. Sounds like something my friend would say. She's really dramatic, though. I'm glad you are aware of this. My flaw is that I can't stand people like this. I'm honestly nice, but I'm afraid to show it to people I don't know too well in fear of this. Crippling self-critical. If things go wrong, it's always my fault, even if it's something I have no control over. When things get difficult, instead of pressing forward, I get into a corner with a hopeless, depressing spiral of either how useless I am or how everything will go wrong. E.g., not doing well in school? Oh god, I'm worthless. I should study more, but I'm worthless, and I'll just get stuck doing nothing and fail anyway and waste more money and be found out for the waste of space I am in this precious, self-destructive ball we call planet, and be abandoned and die alone. Oh, that's great. That's great dialogue. You see, I have this character in the story I make who's supposed to be read like an emo 14-year-old, except I'm not really good at those kinds of thoughts because I was never like that. I've always had somewhat a decent view of myself before I just became a total narcissist. So finding stuff like this is great. This is great material. I can use it to finish up my script. I'll have to remember that. Maybe I should save this comment. That way I can remember to go back to it. My therapist once told me he never had to chastise me because by the time I saw him, I had already beaten myself black and blue. The only thing that seemed to help was making a list of controllable and uncontrollable circumstances. It seemed to help me realize when things truly weren't my fault, and I can stop beating myself up. That's actually a pretty good thing, because blaming yourself for things you have no control over is not good. But then again, blaming other people or everything else for things you do have control over is just playing the victim. You need some kind of balance between it. You don't want to go to the extreme of the other, but have a nice balance of oh, this was my fault. Just oh, I had no control over it, so I can't really do anything about it. If I don't work towards something I want to do, I hate myself. However, hating myself is still not enough motivation to get off my ass and do whatever it is I want to do. Instead, you sit on Reddit hating yourself as you scroll. I get you so much. Can confirm. Hating myself right now. Can confirm. Also hate you. I'll start things off. I have always been the kind of person that learns the hard way. Even when I rationally know the possible consequences of my decisions, 9 times out of 10 I will not change my behavior until something negative happens to me. It's frustratingly stupid. I can relate. Even if everyone, 9-10 people just told me don't fucking do that, but I wasn't sure, even just slightly, of the consequences, I would do said thing just to find out. It cost me a lot, but I'm hoping I've learned now. I dislike being around people. I have found that it's not a very successful trait in a society. My chair doesn't go down anymore. How about if I do it this way? There we go. It's always loud. Let's see. Find a group of people who hate being around people so you can complain together. Fix. It surprisingly works. You bond over your hatred for stupid people. But very quickly becomes very clear once more that I actually dislike people around everyone, not just the stupid. I take everything personally. You don't answer your phone call? What have done to upset you? I do this. I'm quite paranoid. Not in I think people are after me kind of way, but I want people to be my friend and be happy, and I always think they aren't. Every little thing someone does that isn't positive makes me question whether I've upset them and overanalyze everything as much as I try to hide that I'm feeling that way. I'm scared they notice it and that I'm pushing them away. Anxiety causes for me. Made me overanalyze everything. Same here. I'm always looking for the hidden meaning in anything. Wow, you guys, people don't think about you as much as you think they do. I am as fearful of confrontations as one can imagine, be they physical or simply verbal. I grow especially frustrated when people start yelling at each other. I used to get so stressed out when people so much as argued loudly around me, but now at the stage of my life where I'm honestly weirdly disappointed that I've never been in a situation where I could just lose my shit in a fist fight with someone. I don't even know anyone I hate enough to fight. I used to get in fist fights all the time when I was little. Fun stuff. I have an extremely difficult time showing people that I care, mostly due to my constant use of jokes and sarcasm. On the other hand, when I do show a genuine soft side, I'm afraid to come off as needy, which I think may push people away. Me too. I call myself a grump with heart and gold. I would do anything for my close friends, but I'm not outwardly affectionate. I don't generally like hugs. I hate having conversations about my feelings. I'm not generous with verbal praise. I usually shove my love through gestures or buying gifts or doing something for that person, but I will never feel comfortable with, like, looking at my best friend and being like, yo, you mean so much to me and I'm glad we're friends, even though I feel that way. It just isn't my style. Sometimes I worry that people think I'm cold because of it. Sucks to be you. I'm extremely whiny. I complain about everything constantly, and I'm always trying to stop, but I can't seem to. It's gotten to a point where I have to force myself to just not speak around people, because I know I'll just start whining about stupid stuff nobody else cares about. Oh, are you my entire family? Also, although more of a physical trait than a personality issue, I have super judgmental expressions on my face most of the time. It's just my neutral facial expression, but it causes people to constantly tell me to stop judging what they're saying / doing. I'm not judging you, damn it. I'm barely paying attention to what is going on because I'm busy thinking extremely stupid and whiny thoughts. Ooh, I have a really monotone face and expression and voice. People always just think I'm bored or sleepy. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong. If I'm talking to you and I'm not trying to get anything from you, I'm probably bored. But this is just kind of how my face always looks. And the whiny thing, actually, now that I think about it, my mom's new, I guess they're married now, husband, my father-in-law or something, he's really nice and outgoing. So she's not as whiny and complaining as she used to be, which is actually pretty good. Maybe the whiny thing comes from a place of insecurity. I know when I get nervous, I often say some pretty cringeworthy things. You could be falling back with whiny as a safe alternative to saying what you are really thinking because it might come off less judgmental, even though you hate the complaining too. Maybe you can come up with some alternative conversation starters that keep on hand for use in awkward situations. I'm terrible at making small talk, and this is what I try to do to make myself less awkward. Oh my god. Okay, so there are like conversational pieces you can do that, start a conversation and allow you to learn stuff about the person you're talking to. Stupid shit like, what would you do if you go back in time? Which celebrity would you meet? Weird questions like that. They usually work out fine whenever I try them with anything, except for this one friend. Okay, so we have a lot in common. We watched a lot of the same shows. We played the same video games. But she's so boring to talk to, and if I try to use any of those conversational techniques, she completely just blows them off and just will not even attempt to get involved with it. But she loves to talk. She would just loves to text everything. Like, if I ever want to talk, I can just text her and she'll be super willing to talk. But holy crap, is she like the worst at holding a conversation. Even if I try to steer it into an actual conversation, it just doesn't happen. She just lets things die. I've never seen someone so bad at it before. It's almost like she's purposefully trying to steer conversations into a dead end or something. It's like some kind of gift. Because I don't have this problem with anyone else. It's just her. And I practice my conversational skills with tons of people. Because I was not very good at it, and I knew I needed practice, and I had lots of practice at my old job talking to other coworkers. So I'm pretty good at it. But she is just a special case that I don't think I've ever seen before. Anyways, that just reminded me of that, because he was talking about conversational techniques, and remembered, I tried those a few times with that one person, and they don't work with only that one person. Inconsistencies, and an innate sense of guilt for everything, everywhere, all the time. It doesn't really have to make sense, it's just there. A lot of these people are like anxious like crazy. I tend to suck it up and deal with it a lot more than I should, especially in relationships. It's actually how the last two fell apart. I'll not communicate well or hold in my feelings and emotions for the sake of keeping my SO happy to avoid drama. It's a huge problem and I'm trying to fix it. This is like 20 minutes long. That's an appropriate length. I've been talking a lot about myself in this one. Apathy. It's like I don't give a fuck sometimes, but it's not like I'm depressed or anything. Maybe I should just go back to school and study nihilism. Ooh, see, this guy gets it. I overanalyze everything, but I just keep it to myself, so I drive myself crazy instead of everyone else. I'm lazy and crawl through life with the least effort. All I do is read books I don't get tested on, jerk off, and browse Reddit. I used to be really lazy. I remember my goal was to just marry a nice man to take care of me. I'm not gay or anything. I just used to say that because I thought it'd be funny, and it totally was. It always turned to hit people's heads or made them raise an eyebrow, because shock value is a thing. It's a nice conversation starter. And then, of course, you steer the conversation to something more normal, but I'd always say that. Oh, I just want a nice man to take care of me. Or girl. It doesn't matter. I'm not picky. Just someone who allows me to stay home and play video games all day. Luckily, I was able to turn that into a job, so yeah, things worked out, kind of. But I remember that used to be my life goal. It's just to have fun and not have to work. Viciously self-critical. A phrase which gets passed around sometimes is, we tend to judge others by their highlight reel and ourselves by our bloopers. It's very easy to skew the sample when looking at others and ourselves. You say you're very critical of yourself, and I assume you mean your flaws. Are you able to turn that perspective towards the good attributes? I guarantee you have some. I like the don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. That's a good way to put it. I mean, not this guy's, I meant the one before him. Same here. I'm my own worst critic. Well, except for my mother. She sounds nasty. She can be pretty vicious and hurtful at times. I don't speak to her anymore, and I've noticed I've been a lot confident and happier since I did. It kind of makes me sad, and I had to end up that way. But I realize I can't change her because I can change myself. It's kind of nice in a way not to try to constantly win her approval. It's a huge relief, actually. My mom was the complete opposite. I'm pretty sure she's a contributor in my high self-confidence. I can't hold my end of the conversation. I'm terrible at talking to strangers and friends alike. Looks like you just need practice. I'm terrible at talking to strangers. I feel like I've missed out on a lot of relationships as job opportunities because of this. The thing is, for people who are bad at conversations, is they think small talk is worthless, and that only meaningful conversations are worth actually talking about. I know this because I used to think like that, and I've read it in a whole bunch of psychology books that talk about small talk and shit. Small talk is a bridge into bigger conversations. It's totally necessary, and it's a skill everyone should learn, even if you think it's unnecessary, because it's definitely helpful to know how to do that. And once I got off my high horse and actually started to learn how to small talk, I take a lot of practice. Ask them about themselves. People love to talk about themselves, in general. You'll get a feel if they don't like it. Short answers are a good indicator they're aren't into it. I've met a ton of strangers throughout the years, and only 2 really hate talking about themselves, which is fine. There's always something going on in the world. Baby panda in the zoo, Chinese stock market, North Korea's always being crazy about something, etc., etc. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Try to steer the conversation about themselves. That's a good way to start. I'm oversensitive and distrustful. I take everything personally, and I can never take people at their word. For example, I know my SO was madly in love with a girl he was dating at the beginning of this year. I'm fairly certain he wanted to marry her. She dumped him for someone else, and it took him months to get over her. Now he says he's in love with me and doesn't want anyone else, but part of me still firmly believes he would leave me for her in a heartbeat if she asked him to. No matter how many times he tries to reassure me, I just feel like he's lying. Not to mention this is also a prime example of oversensitivity problem. Well, I can kind of see that. He probably would leave her for someone else if he would loved her that much. I love myself and hate myself more than anyone could possibly understand. The persistent cycle between superiority and inferiority complex is one of the most annoying things. You can't ever be sure if you're accurately assessing yourself, or if you just have a really big lens/complex affecting you. You'll get through it. No, we won't. That's just superiority complex talking. I'm severely distrusting of people. I push everyone away. I don't care what people are doing, even friends and family. I don't care how the work is going or what they are doing. Not in a mean way, it just doesn't interest me for whatever reason, so it makes talking to people a bit hard. It's probably because I don't want to talk about it, what I'm doing or work. Well, I mean, I don't care either, but I'll ask in a token way if it seems to come up in some kind of conversation. I relate to this so much. People wonder why I never talk about myself or my hobbies. It's because I know they don't care. I couldn't care to listen to their shit. Why should I bother them with mine and waste my time? Maybe I'm just a lazy, cynical asshole, though. Yeah, I think that's a better way to put it. Lazy, cynical asshole. I hate to admit it, but I'm starting to notice I'm turning out to be an attention seeker. I don't realize it, but I do it all the time. I think I'm smarter than I actually am. I'm in all likelihood just average or slightly above. Oh, I remember when I was in 9th grade, I got moved into some advanced classes. I never really thought I was all that smart because I did get good grades, but nothing too special. And then I met some truly smart people, and I never entertained the delusion that I was smarter than I actually was, because I met some people who were genuine geniuses. I was like, damn, these people, I would never be able to do what they do. So I always got really good grades, but I'm not a genius like those people. So I never went through this stage of thinking I was smarter than everyone else, which I'm very thankful because of those advanced classes I took. Even if you are smart, it's important to remember that there are always a lot of people way smarter than you. Yeah, especially if you meet people like that. Say you were at the 99th percentile for intelligence in the world. Sure, in a room of 100 people, you may be the smartest person there. In a room of 1,000 people, you're somewhere in the top 10. Pretty good, right? Remember, there are 7 billion people on the planet, though. So if you're the cutoff for 99th percentile of intelligence, there are still 70 million people on the planet who are smarter than you. 70 million people. So remember, there's always a bigger fish in the sea. Wow, this is true and good for perspective. I think the even more important lesson is that being smart isn't everything. Intellect is just a tool. But a tool nonetheless. And if you aren't actually doing something with it, it doesn't really matter all that much. Not to mention, if you look back in your life, I'm sure a lot of people would value that most wasn't necessarily the smartest ones, but rather the ones that showed the most compassion, kindness. I know this is true for me, at least. Putting all your eggs in the intellect basket, you risk both selling yourself short and creating arrogance. Not a good road to walk down. I worry a lot about everything. I overanalyze things all the time, and I'm too logical minded. For example, I spent 3 minutes retyping this post. No joke. I'm just too damn modest, but I'm perfect in every other way. I think I have to be nice to people all the time and do things for them to have them like me. There's just too many to choose from. Okay, this is already really long. Like half an hour long.